Hi guys, welcome back and thank you so much for being here. What's going on? Please like and share these videos. So you guys, Ned Nwoko has shared a couple of videos where he claims Regina Daniels' brother was harassing his domestic. He also shared a very lengthy post detailing some of the atrocities that he claims Regina Daniel committed during the course of their marriage. Okay. From the write up, let me just get that out of the way at the beginning. From the write up, it is very obvious that Paned is done with Regina. He's over it. Okay. And now it's about smearing her in a bid to save himself. When I didn't read everything, but from the first few paragraphs that I read, it is so obvious. So we're going to read that together after we watch this video that Paned provided, basically to use as evidence of the allegations that he has made, not only against Regina, but Regina's brother. I don't know if you guys heard about this. He also planned, according to Regina's mom, he had also planned to arrest Regina's mother by Monday. Okay. He has also planned to arrest Regina's mother by Monday. And I saw a post where VDM was saying that people should thank him because he finally spoke to Mr. Ned, and Ned had basically changed his mind about arresting Regina Daniels' mom. And I'm just shaking my head. Say, this is a freedom fighter. But that's a conversation for another day. But I just wanted to include that because it just really tells you, put things in perspective as to what's really going on, and it's pathetic. But yeah, this man wants to like all of the evidence that he has provided. Maybe he has more evidence of Regina Daniels' mom doing something bad that he wants to provide to like use as justification why he has now set his sights on going after Regina Daniels' mom. Do you get? So maybe eventually he will share evidence of that. So, but one thing I also want to say, like I said, he's oh like it now. If Regina ever makes the mistake of going back, because Regina made a post saying that, guys, he won. I'm going back. I just hope, like I said in my Facebook page, I just hope that that's just her delirium talking, and that's not something that she actually means. Because, if she ever goes back to that man, especially with everything that has happened, that man being the vindictive person that I suspect that he is, that man is going to make Regina's life a living hell. He's going to like stifle her everything, her freedom. She can kiss her freedom goodbye. Because now he's already pushing the narrative that she's on drugs, blah, blah, blah. So now he's going to have something to fall back on and be like, oh, she's not healthy enough to go out. Her career, she can kiss her Nollywood career goodbye. Everything else, her freedom, everything, she can kiss it goodbye. If she makes the mistake of returning to that man, so I just hope that maybe what she was saying was just her blowing off steam and she didn't really mean it, that she was going back to that man, because it does not serve her. If anything, it'll be the worst. This, like, whatever is going on now, whatever he's doing to her now, will pale in comparison to what he will do to her should she return to this man. Okay, because the guy is done now. It's about saving his neck, it's about saving his career, it's about trying to clear his name from the allegations that Regina made, and that will entails him maligning her name, smearing her name, accusing her of all kinds of things. That's the next step now. Like, you already see bloggers, people who are already pushing this narrative. It's already there. Like, you can already see it. It's only gonna get worse, and it will even be triple worse. Will be like 100 times worse if she makes the mistake of going back to that man. That is just the way I see it, because he never actually loved her in the beginning. In my opinion, he was pretending and all of that. But now that the cat is already out of the bag, he doesn't have any other reason to like pretend to love her, to care for her. Now it's gonna be like she's in a torture chamber. I promise you. So if she knows what is good for her, she should not make the mistake of going back. I know that her children are there, and Ned, we already know past behavior is the best predictor of future behavior. We know that Ned has a history. His MO is basically using the children as a weapon against their mother. And with Regina's own, you think it's gonna be different? Hell to that no. It's not gonna be different. If anything, he's gonna double down. Okay? He's gonna double down. And I also want to say this right from the top of this live stream. I want to say that any man who pursues a teenager and then wait until she reached the age of majority, to marry her, just so that he doesn't have to face questions about, what will be seen as a pedophilic behavior, that is not a good man. Any man who pursues a teenager, any man who's like 60 plus years old, who pursues a teenager is not a good man. It is so interesting. Like, I have seen so many narratives of what is going on with people trying to make this man out to be the victim. Oh my God, Regina is lying. When Regina says she was feeding the man at some point, the blah, 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 Regina is lying. He was the one that was doing X, Y, and Z. People are ignoring the age difference in this situation. I actually saw a video on TikTok of Regina when she was like small, when she played Mercy Johnson's daughter in a movie. That's to tell you how small she was. Like, she grew up practically before our very eyes. Like, we saw her. Around the time that this girl was a child acting, this man was already more than 50 years old. And that's the child that he was attracted to. People are losing sight of the gravity of the situation. People are losing sight of how messed up and how crazy this whole situation is, that a man like that will even fancy somebody so small, that he will even fancy somebody so small, and nobody is calling him out on it. That just tells you how much our society has like the decay in our society. And then people want to blame her for whatever, when she was just a child acting her age. People want to blame her for acting however she was acting. And then this narrative of, oh, she was on drug, this man, like the other one that came out and said she wasn't doing again, Leila Sharani, you accuse her of being on drug. This one too, Oga, if you are having, Mr. Ned Nwoko, if you are having, according to Regina, the only way for her to do anything with you was to like get herself high, and you liked and you encouraged it, according to Regina. But the thing is, Oga, if you're having to get somebody high before they can be comfortable enough to like, go to bed with you, that right there should already tell you that you are doing something wrong. That right there should already tell you that you're doing something wrong. People tend to act, people are looking at Regina and saying, oh, she was this and she was that. She agreed to any of the things that she's now complaining about, rah, rah, rah. See, whether you like it or not, she's still a child. If a 12-year-old gets pregnant and has a baby, she's still a child. Up until she gets to that age where she has matured, she's still a child. For goodness sakes. What is wrong with you people and this narrative and this shamelessness? That you cannot see that this girl is a child. We watch her grow up. We watch her grow up. And Ned also did as well. So what was he thinking the entire time when he was watching this small girl act a movie? Was he thinking, one day you're gonna be my wife? Like, do you people even understand? Do you people even understand? Like, you will remove the blame from the person who is more guilty and you'll be blaming a child. You are blaming a child for the behavior of adults. Like, seriously. Seriously. What is wrong with you guys? She's not even 25. She's not even at the age where her frontal lobe has finished developing, for goodness sakes. Frontal lobes typically finish developing around 25, 26. She's not even there yet. And you people are sick, twisted people. Sick. The lot of you, sick. How you guys are removing blame from this old man, old enough to be her grandfather, and blaming her. Mr. Ned, if all of your wives if you're eventually accusing all of your wives or any one of your wives of doing drugs, then maybe there's something wrong with you, because you are the common denominator in all of this. You are the common denominator. You accused Layla Shorani of doing drugs. You accuse Regina Daniels of doing drugs. You accuse the other one that hasn't seen her children since the day that she ran away from you. I forget her name now. Remember it now. You also accuse that one of doing drugs. If all these women who obviously never had a drug problem prior to meeting you, otherwise you would not have married them. If all these women are all of a sudden becoming drug addicts after they've had an encounter with you, after they've been married to you, like, doesn't that tell you people, especially those of you that are criticizing Regina, doesn't that tell you people that something is wrong, that he's the common denominator in all of this? Doesn't that tell you guys? Doesn't that tell you guys that he's the common denominator? If every single woman that he's married to, he ends up accusing them of doing drugs. If you guys were not biased in your thinking, if a lot of you had not been paid, shouldn't the question be, Oga, why are they all of a sudden turning drug addicts once they have had any kind of entanglement with you, any kind of, relationship with you? Why? You are not even ashamed to be accusing all these women of doing drugs. Hi, Real G Starina. Nuruji says that Jane, yeah, I saw that. I actually posted about that. Yeah, we're gonna cover that as we go on the live stream. Hi, Iselma Brooke. Hi, Joyce. Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for being here. Hi, guys. Hi. So, like, this is just crazy and wild to me. Let's go ahead and listen to the video that he posted. Listen, okay, let me tell you. Anybody can post any video proof. I'm doing my air quotation here. Anybody can post any so-called proof to justify, to convince you, to paint whatever narrative that they are trying to paint. Okay, so this video, as you can see, there is even somebody in the background that is even sounding sympathetic towards Sammy. So, but we don't see the beginning of the video. We don't see what happened that led to Sammy's blowout. Yeah, all we know is the video that Ned posted with his narrative, so that we can believe whatever it is that he wants us to believe. Just let's keep that in mind. Because manipulators, narcissists, people who are like, I was reading some of what he said. Like I said, I didn't read everything. I only read about a few lines, but it was so obvious that this is a desperado man. This is a desperate man. This is why I always use the cage animal as a reference. I always use the cage animal narrative. When an animal is caged and they don't have any out, they can't find an out, that's when they are more fierce. That's when they put on their biggest fight, their toughest fight, because they feel like they are losing the plot. They feel like they are losing support. They feel like they need to get out of the corner that they've been backed into. That was the narrative. That was a sentiment that I was getting from just reading the few lines that I read from his post, but we're gonna cover that. First, let's listen to this.
I know they that one. Oh boy. I know they that one. Oh boy. Etaka. I know they that. Etaka don't do what you want to. Don't come up for here.
Who is the person driving the car?
I see MC. They explain. Give the policeman. Say no. She's not going anywhere. No, who is he?
I said that she's going. Like this.
You're explaining to him. Who calls him?
You are trying. Don't worry. Sorry.
No, you are doing for your level. I know that's what you have to do for your level. But who goes in for she to explain where she want to go for policeman?
You are good.
What be that?
You are a very good boy. Don't worry.
Do you hear that the person that is talking to him on the background is basically sounding sympathetic to him? And I have also seen people asking, why is Sammy always at Regina Daniel's house? Why is he always there and blah blah blah? Again, there are so many people who do not understand the first, the middle, or the last thing about siblings and siblings bond and everything. There are so many people they have never loved. They grew up in a home where they were always fighting, they hated each other, and that fight just carried on into adulthood. And so they don't understand they don't understand the importance of having a sibling who will drop everything to be at your beck and call, who will be there standing there to support you. They don't understand because they don't have that. Because I have seen some people commenting and saying, why is he even at Regina Daniel's house? If everything was good and Regina was not in constant danger, I don't think these people will be going over there. I'm sure they have their own life. I think he's into music, Sammy. I'm sure he wants to do his music but because sometimes when somebody that is close to your relative or whatever, when you know that they are in a situation where anything can happen at the drop of a hat, anything can happen, things can go from 0 to 100. You are always thinking, even moving on, there's something that is buried in your subconscious when you know somebody who is living in a non-conducive environment and in a non-conducive situation. You are always waiting for the other shoe to drop. You're always waiting for them to call you, waiting for that call to say something has happened though. So it kind of stifles you, kind of like hinders you from doing things because you don't know when you're going to get that call. So I get why Sammy is there, and it's not as if he's there 24/7. I think he's only there when his sister calls her. But people are trying to say, why is he always there? So, and these are the same people, God forbid something happens to Regina and she doesn't have any siblings to be there. These same people are going to be shouting RIP and say she should have left her siblings. I remember when after that Austin Achille own happened and people were like, my what about her siblings, eh? What about her siblings? It's what they say. But here you have a sibling who is doing the exact same thing that you guys are angry that other siblings didn't do. And you guys have the audacity to criticize and insult him for being a support system. If the marriage was stable, if the marriage was loving, if it was peaceful, I don't think that they would be there every moment trying to sort things out for her. It's wild to me the way people just think. Again, this is just one side though. One side. Again, Ned Nwoko, like I have always said, he didn't get to the position that he is by being a softie. He has mastered everything. He's running circles around all of them, including Regina and Regina Mama and Regina Papa. He's already had them exactly where he wants them. He already knows what move they are going to make because with age comes experience. Do you get? So he knows this is nothing that he has not seen before.
You are telling that thing again. The display what I go display for you. And I go feel that.
Oh yeah, what they go?
Okay, so let's go ahead and share what he wrote in addition to the post. Let me go ahead and share what he wrote in addition to the post. So this is what he wrote. I hope you guys can still see me. Yeah, you guys can see. So in addition to the videos he posted, he said, these videos show Sammy, Regina's brother, repeatedly coming to my house and harassing my children and domestic staff, especially whenever I was not around. His visits were often aggressive and disruptive. This is someone I sponsored through his last 2 years at the University of Ekpoma. I bought his musical instrument, rented and furnished a flat for him in Abuja, in addition to the house I bought for Regina in Asaba before our marriage for the use of all of them. I also routinely provided allowances to all members of the family, including her mother, Rita Daniels. Indeed, in the last 2 years, I have a record of transferring 125 million naira to her alone. When Regina started her rehabilitation, there was a clear instruction by the doctors to strictly restrict people, especially her enablers, from having access to her. The therapy was arranged after I noticed troubling changes in her behavior linked to her dependence on a certain illegal substances, including going for 48 hours without sleeping and eating every 2 hours. Unfortunately, Sammy, Destiny, and some of their siblings, together with a few of their friends, notably Sonia Uche Montana, among others, constantly defy those instructions. They will come into the house uninvited, sometimes forcing their way in, and would bring her the same drug she was being treated for. Instead of helping her for recovery, they encouraged her addiction and completely frustrated the efforts of the doctors and therapists working with her. It is important to note that Lawrence, Sammy, his girlfriend NK, Destiny, Sonia, and others also took the same drugs as Regina. In fact, Lawrence and Sammy were the ones who first introduced and supplied these drugs to her. They were deeply involved in the habits themselves, and rather than helping her get better, they kept drawing her back into the same destructive lifestyle. I do not drink alcohol nor smoke. In fact, I am a vegetarian, so I found these characters and behaviors reprehensible and totally unacceptable. So continuing, he says, just 4 weeks ago, I woke up around 4 a.m. and realized that Regina was in my room and on the phone. She was clearly high. Okay, so she was clearly high. Hold on. So 4 weeks ago, is this the video that went viral? 4 weeks ago, is this the video that went viral that everybody was saying, oh, not content? Paned is such a loving husband, such a supportive husband. Oh, he allows Regina to be herself. Was that it? Was that it? Okay. Just 4 weeks ago, I woke up around 4 a.m. and realized that Regina was in my room and on the phone. She was clearly high. So continuing, he said there were at least two serious incidents where she left home in the evening and did not return until the next day. The first incident, she returned in the morning around 9 a.m. When I asked where she had been all night, she casually said she was at a nightclub. When I questioned why she would stay out all night, ignoring my calls and refusing to answer messages, her response was, "You are not my father, so don't ask me where I was." I found out that she was with Cassie, and that Cassie was staying in Regina's house in Life Camp. Cassie is the chemist and supplier of the group. I had hold on. Let me highlight where I am. I had to go to live camp at 6 p.m. to ask her to leave. With her around Regina, the therapy became a joke. On another occasion, on the kid's birthday to be precise, I returned home with the kids because Regina said she would stay with her Nollywood friend for dinner. She didn't return until 5 p.m. the next day. I took so much nonsense just for the sake of the kids. Okay, continuing. I also knew that drugs had a lot to do with it. As to her reason for continuing with drug, she will always say, just like her mother, that is a celebrity lifestyle. They will always mention two well known pop stars. Imagine the pain of a husband trying to help his wife recover, only to have the process sabotaged by her siblings and friends, the very people who should have been supporting her healing. So, continuing, he wrote, um, continuing, he wrote, this pattern of behavior made it almost impossible for her to recover. Each time progress was made, they would undo it by smuggling in the same drug she was fighting to give up. The entire household lived in tension and fear because of their constant harassment, interference, and disregard for boundaries. It will be interesting to know her reasons for the violent behavior in the house the day that Sammy and other siblings came and attacked my staff and security, taking Regina away after doing a video which they posted the next day. Why did they do that video? Why did they post it? They simply planned and orchestrated a script all in my absence, regardless of the fact that my kids were there. They took away many things from my house, including one of my phones, money, and many other items. Everything that happened that day was, it's kind of cut off from here. Everything that happened that day, WEA, I don't know what he's trying to say. So continuing, and happened that day, and she knows that I do not want her in my room in that condition. I asked her to go to her room and she told me that Sammy's girlfriend was in her room. I was alarmed and angry because that girl should never have been in my house, let alone around Regina, since she's one of the enablers who constantly bring her the substances she is addicted to. So continuing, he wrote, I told Regina that the girl had to leave, and one of my drivers dropped her off. 30 minutes later, Sammy came to my house shouting and demanding that I come downstairs to face him. He said I had no right to ask his girlfriend to leave my house. He was ranting and threatening, waking up everyone, including the children. I eventually went downstairs and had to instruct the security to physically push him out of my compound. The level of audacity was shocking. Without the influence of drug, could he have been so bold and disrespectful? That was his question. So continuing, he goes on to say, They did not stop there. On several occasions, they verbally assaulted and intimidated the police officers stationed at the house for security. The officers were simply following instructions to restrict access for the sake of Regina's recovery, but Sammy and his group would insult and threaten them. Whenever Regina wanted to go out and I was not around, she would become extremely hostile towards the police and domestic staff. She would shout, threaten, and use abusive words, insisting that she must leave the house no matter what. Is that everything? Let me see if there's more. Okay, let me refresh and see if there is more. Um, yeah, there's more. Let me see. Where's the rest of it? Oh, it's like they deleted the rest of it. I don't know. What happened to the rest of what I was reading? Okay. They've deleted it from the comment section. So they thank God I even read as much as I did. Wow. So let me see. I know that I screenshotted some of them just because I suspected that they might delete it because it's what these people do, right? They post and they delete. Cowards. Cowards. Let me see if I can find it. I'm looking, guys. Okay. Let me play this video while I search for what I'm looking for.
No, you are doing no for your level. I know that's what you have to do for your level. But who goes deep for she to explain where she want go for police? What to be that?
You are a very good boy. Don't worry.
I know they that one. Oh boy, attacker. I know they that. I don't do what you want to do. Don't come up for here.
Who is the person driving the car?
I see they explain, give the policeman say no, she's not going anywhere else.
No,
Who is he?
I said that she's going. Like this.
You're explaining to him. Who calls him?
You are trying. Don't worry.
No, you are doing no for your level. I know that's what you have to do for your level. But who goes deep for she to explain where she want go for police?
You are
What to
good.
be that?
You are a very good boy. Don't worry.
I know they that one. Oh boy, attacker. I know they that. I don't do what you want to do. Don't come up for here.
Okay, so let me come back. I don't know. I think I kind of messed things up. I think that was it though, but they have deleted the comments. They've deleted the message that they left in the comment section. So I don't know what that is about. But yeah, that's what he posted. The comment. They've deleted the message that they left in. So I don't know what that is about. But yeah, that's what he posted. The comment. Okay. They've deleted the message. I hope this has not been echoing, no, because I just realized now that something was open. Okay, so what was I saying just now? Let me see some comment before I continue. Somebody says, old man with no shame. Another person said, what was the injection, Regina? Let me see. So we're gonna go now to Regina's response because Regina responded to him. So we're gonna go to Regina's response to his allegations. Okay, somebody said, Jay, check her story. Regina's story. Okay, I'll check it. First of all, let's check the initial response that she gave. Hi, Mirabelle. Okay, so this is Regina's response to what he to his allegations. So Regina said, Ned, how could you lie so openly and without even small remorse? You know my family has absolutely nothing to do with this. Let me see. I hope you guys can see what I am reading. Yeah, you guys can see. So Regina said, Ned, how could you lie so openly and without even small remorse? You know my family has absolutely nothing to do with this. You have always tried to cut them off because of the bond we share. And now you're trying to make them look bad for no reason. Fine, I did drugs. So what? Is that even the issue between us? The moment we had a fight, you rushed to the public shouting drugs, 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 because you know it would make a perfect story for the media, something dramatic enough to distract everyone from the real issue. So she goes on to say, you want to find a reason to arrest everyone around me so that I will have no one left beside me, no friend, no support, no safe place to turn to. Then, when I'm completely isolated and broken, I'll be forced to come back to you because I will have nowhere else to go. It is so obvious, honestly. It is so obvious that that's what he's trying to do. And I saw Mercy Johnson, supporting Regina and all of that malarkey. And I am wondering how long before Ned threatens Mercy Johnson, how long before Ned Nwoko sends a message to Mercy Johnson's husband and tell him to advise his wife to back off? Because that's how these things usually go. Narcissists want to isolate you. Narcissists want to make sure that they neutralize your support system so that they can penetrate and succeed in whatever plans that they have, you know, to basically keep you however they want to keep you. Okay. So and I see that to be the case. Honestly, I see that to be the case. This man it's like he only has one response. Okay. So, anyways, continuing, she said, that has always been your strategy. Break people down, make them weak and powerless, and then have your way with them. But guess what? It's not going to work this time. Not anymore. I'm happy to hear this. I really am happy to hear this. You have to take your power back, baby girl. You have to take your power back. And I hope that I feel like Regina is still naive. There is a video that she did a couple of days ago when she was chastising the people that were criticizing her and mocking her and shaming her. She said something to the effect of, there are people who love her and they are working hard for her. They are helping her resolve this issue, But now, come to find out, it is easier said than done. And we'll get to that in a little bit. The reason why I said it is easier said than done. But yeah, I feel like there is no need. If you just do your thing, believe what you want to believe. If you feel like, yeah, you're going to come out of this stronger, then let that be the case. There's no need for you to like do unto to the people that were mocking you. There is no need for that. Like, you're gonna be annoying people that and scaring people away who might even want to like open their heart to show you sympathy. But anyways, let me keep reading. You say you want me to go to rehab, but you are the same Ned who always wanted me high because in your words I am sexier when I am high. Hmm. Oga Ned, you cannot deny this. When I was reading his long epistles and he was talking about how people used to supply her drugs and this and that, I was just shaking my head because this girl, the same people that he's accusing of supplying her drugs, are the same people that have been in her life for the longest time. They didn't supply her then. How convenient that all of a sudden they are now supplying her D. When back before you met him, you met her, she was normal, she was okay. So make that make sense. To me, I feel like this is blame shifting on Ned Nwoko's part. This is blame shifting. Like you're putting the blame on somebody else as opposed to taking responsibility. Like I said, you are the common denominator in all of this. You are the common denominator, Ned. You are the common denominator. When you think about all your other wives who you have also accused of doing, like, seriously. So no woman clean for your house again. There has to be a reason why that is the case. There has to be a reason why they are turning to drugs. There has to be a reason. Can we just have that conversation, for goodness sakes? There has to be a reason, Mr. Man. So she says, Ned always wanted me high because, in your words, I'm sexier when I'm high. You like me that way because it made me wild and romantic, exactly how you wanted me to be. That's what she said. And I believe it. I believe it. Yeah. He probably suspects that she's grossed out by him. He probably suspects that she's grossed out by him, and she finds him icky and gross. And so he's like, okay, put something in your system that will alter your behavior and make you loosey goosey. You know, I see that being the case. I see that being the case. Yeah. So continuing, she says, you like me that way because it made me wild and romantic, exactly how you wanted me to be. Why don't you also tell them how you forced yourself on me whenever I say no? Trust and believe. There's going to be a narcissist who's going to be like, a man cannot arrow word his wife. You just expect it. These people are sick. Sick, let me tell you. Hey, why don't you also tell them how you forced me on yourself? Why you forced yourself on me whenever I said no? So he was basically arrow wording her. I mean, I see that to be the case. Some people don't even believe that you can arrow word your wife in our society. Some people don't even believe you can arrow word your wife because they feel like like you're married. So duh. But the principle of the arrow word is, even if somebody came to your house voluntarily, laid on your bed voluntarily, took off her clothes voluntarily, and right before the penetration happens, they said no, and you didn't stop, you have just violated them. That is the principle. People need to educate themselves. People need to educate themselves. But they won't. Trust me, they won't. Why don't you tell? Okay, so she continued and she said, why don't you tell them how you lock me up, seize my phones, and suddenly declare me mentally unstable the moment I say no, I no longer want to be in this relationship? But once I change my mind, just to get out of that locked room, once I change my mind just to get out of that locked room, suddenly I am fine again. I'm no longer mentally unstable and apparently not in need of rehab anymore. So she's basically saying that she was imprisoned. That's what she's saying here, that she was imprisoned. So continuing, she says, why don't you also tell them that all your wives and ex-wives are on drugs? Hmm. Hmm. Listen, by Ned Nwoko's own mouth, he told us that Layla was on drugs by his own mouth. Again, the common denominator here is you, mister. The common denominator here is you. Why don't you also tell them that all your wives and ex-wives are on drugs? And can you be kind enough to explain to them why that is? Why don't you also tell them how you lock me up and doctors to inject me with drugs meant for people bipolar. Where it like doesn't this sound familiar? Remember the same situation that Femi Fani Kayode, the same thing that he did to Precious Chikwendu, the same thing he did to Precious Chikwendu. Hmm. Why don't you also continue reading? Why don't you also tell them that all your wives and ex-wives are on drugs? And can you be kind enough to explain to them why that is? Why don't you also tell them how you lock me up and doctors inject me with drugs meant for people bipolar? Why don't you why don't you tell them how you take my phones for weeks just because you hate that I talk to my family a lot? You have never seen me act incoherent, stumble, or lose control, so just stop. Every problem we have had started when I no longer wanted you, whether sober or even high. Stop using the D word narrative to create distraction. Tell people the truth. I understand, Sha, you are feeling rejected and hurt, and you are struggling to make peace with the fact that it's all over. So, lastly, she said, let me make this very clear. No matter how much you think you spent on me, it can never equal the value of the time I gave you, my prime years, my energy, and the career opportunities I sacrificed while being with you. And for the record, I would have filed for divorce long ago if there was ever a legal marriage between us. We were never married in any court of law and no documents were signed. Leave me alone, Ned. Marriage is not by force. Love is not by force. Stop trying to control what no longer belongs to you. Awesome. So that's what she wrote about the legal aspect of it. I saw a comment when somebody posted and said, why didn't you file for divorce? Anybody that has been following their story, again, people have very, people are basing their opinion on this on very limited information. Okay. Because everybody who's been paying attention knows that Regina and Ned did not go to court. They just did the traditional native law and custom. That's all they did. They did the native law and custom, and that's where it ended. There was no court wedding, none whatsoever. So people need to get their story straight, because I feel like people were also bombarding her with that same talking point, which is now prompting her to address this and say, we never had a legal marriage. We only had native law and custom. That's all we had. And that's all they had. True tea. So the whole situation is really, really sad. And my heart goes out to Precious. Somebody's telling me to check her story. Okay, I'll check her story now. But speaking of the house that Ned claimed that he bought for her, we all know that Ned bought that house in his name, if at all that's even the case. So we all know that he bought that house in his name. If you look at his garage, it is the same kind of cars that all the women pose in front of to take pictures. It's the same. There's nothing new, there's nothing special, there's nothing meant for one particular person. No, they all just pose in front of that car or pose inside the car and take pictures. That's it. Everything is in Ned's name. Everything is in Ned's name. This is why I have always said that people like Ned do not get to where they are by being pushovers, by just letting around, by just allowing people to walk all over them. No, if Nate ever tell you the things that he did to get to where he is, your head go swell. Hmm. Your head go swell. If he ever tells you, all of a sudden, oh, Regina Daniels is, I don't believe that. Okay. There is one person who has always been on drugs, who I don't know if a lot of people just ignore. A lot of people could not tell that she was on drugs until her ex-husband came out to expose everything. Annie Idibia, Annie Macaulay. Whenever you see Annie in public, you will see somebody that is like fidgeting, acting like they are high. Whenever I saw Annie, she always looked high. Always. So I was not surprised when Tu Baba eventually, even when she's come, like you can tell that she's like maybe she's jonesing, or like you can just tell. Even now that people are celebrating her, I was gonna do a video, but I just changed my mind about it. But even now that people are celebrating her endorsement, there's a video of her endorsement. This was like maybe a week or two ago, and people were posting sharing the video about how she was made an ambassador of something. Like I was watching that video and I was like, she's still high. In my opinion, obviously, I'm not saying I have any proof of this, but I was watching the video, I was like, she's still high. She's not over it. She's not done. She's not sorted. But you see, Regina, I don't believe it. I don't. She's just somebody who had to do this thing, who had to take drugs and whatever, just so that she can manage her condition with Ned Nwoko. That's ultimately all it boils down to. That's ultimately what it boils down to, honestly. So let's go and see. Let me go check her story there. And meanwhile, this one, Leila Sharani, this one is just posting. This one is just posting. This is what this one posted recently. This one is just subbing Regina anyhow. Say, too busy building my peace, my life, and my family. No time for anything less. We know it goes so entire body. You are like, for me, and I see people just applauding her, saying this and that. Obviously, this video is heavily filtered. If you look at the way the other person is, like, filtered to the gods. Okay, people are saying, you're so beautiful, you're prettier than Regina. Okay, fine, whatever. You people tell yourself whatever you need to tell yourself. But anybody who followed Ned and Leila Sharani's story, anybody who followed Ned and Leila Sharani's story will pretty much know that Leila is a glorified hostage. She's not there out of her volition. She's there because of her children. She's there because he did the exact same thing that he's currently doing to Regina to her. So, yeah. And like she always has a way of coming out whenever there's something going on between Regina and Ned. She always comes out trying to be Miss Goody Two Shoes, and I would just be looking at her and shaking my head like, look at this one, look at this one. She's okay. So I think this is what somebody wanted me to take a look at. Can you guys still see? Yeah, you guys are still here. So Regina posted this and she said, yes, everyone, it is now in history that Regina Daniels did drugs. Sorry. So she says, yes, everyone, it is now in history that Regina Daniels did drugs because that was what her husband wanted. That was what her husband wanted, believe it or not. Dearest ex-husband, thanks for breaking the crown you put on my head. No one knew us like us, and I trusted you with all of me, even with my sex tape, which I pray never sees the light of day. But you have always been a step ahead negatively. Foolish me. When I married you, hey, did I not say? When I married you at 17, was I on drugs? Thank God for time. My name is ruined for now, but I will rewrite my history. That narrative will be dead and gone. Hey. Now that I have let the one thing you have on me out, what else? Now that I have let the one thing that you have on me out, what else? It's time to fight with all of me in court. I am not backing down now. You narcissistic man. I am not backing down now, you narcissistic manipulative bastard. I am so pained. I am ruined. Y'all can laugh, but the laughter won't be for long as I serve my God. Regina, you need to relax about what other people are saying about you. I don't even think people will laugh like that. Of course, there will be people that are laughing, but you were 17. Was that not what I was just saying just now? You were 17 years old when you married this man. She was a teenager when this man was fooling with her. She was not even, she hasn't even reached the age of majority when this man was messing. Who's going to talk about that? Who is going to put Ned Nwoko's feet to the fire for messing with a 17-year-old child? Who's gonna put Ned Nwoko's feet? Who's gonna question his pedophilic ways? Who's going to ask him why? That was why I said this at the top of this live stream. I said, any man, any 60-plus-year-old man who is pursuing a teenager is not a good man. Any 60-something-year-old man pursuing a teenager and marrying a teenager does not have the best intent, does not have the best intentions. And I know that there is a young lady somewhere watching this whole thing go down and thinking, oh, I'll just behave myself and do all he says for peace to reign in the home. I'll just put my head down and keep sweet and blah, blah, blah. Sorry to break it to you. Sorry to bust your bubble. But no amount of line towing can save you from a grade A narcissist. And that's a fact. No amount of putting your head down, no amount of doing everything, because a bully, people like Ned, they are bullies. And bullies will manufacture new ways to torment you because they enjoy tormenting you. They will manufacture new ways to torment and break your spirit. It's just better if you don't get involved with them at all. It's just better. Because they will keep pushing and pushing and pushing and pushing and crossing the line until you have nothing else to give. It's what they do. It is what they do. You see, Regina just announced that she was 17 years old when he married her. He had been courting her. He had been courting her years prior. Nobody should be fooled with all this nonsense. This is what people should be focusing on. Everything that Regina, that he's now accusing, that Ned Nwoko is now accusing Regina of, everything that he's now accusing Regina of, she learned while she was under his roof. Let nobody forget that. Everything that he's now using to attack Regina, everything that he's now using to go after her, are things that she learned under his watch. I don't know why people are conveniently leaving that part out. I don't know why people are actually forgetting this part. There is a reason why he doesn't want Regina to go. It's not because he loves her. Because everything that she has said, everything that she has exposed, like, she just tell you that it's over. If she ever makes the mistake of going back to that house, she's going to be a slave in every sense of the word. She's going to be a slave in every sense of the word. It'll be in her best interest to not even go back. We already know, as far as the children are concerned, of course he's going to use them as a weapon. That goes without saying now. That's what he does. That's his MO. That's his MO. That's what he does. He uses the children as a weapon. So I don't expect anything different this time. I don't expect anything different. So if that's a fight, if there's a fight that she's going to be preparing for, that she needs to prepare for, it is the one that she's going to have when it comes to her children. Because we have all seen how that can happen, how they can weaponize. We have all seen it. We saw what Femi Fani-Kayode did to Precious Chikwendu. So expect nothing less. I saw a video that somebody posted, and let me see if I can even find it. But before that, let me check something else. Before that, let me share something else. Hold on. But I hope that she stays strong. There's a saying in my dialect that says, fight with everything that is within your power. Fight. Don't give up your children. Fight. But don't go back. But don't go back. Don't ever go back. So this is one of Ned Nwoko's ex-wife, okay? This one left, but her children are still in the home. I don't know if you guys remember the video where Regina was talking about how in my home I'm a queen. In Ned Nwoko's house I'm nothing, something like that. Yeah. There was one teenager's voice that we kept hearing that was saying, "Mommy, no, you are loved. Mommy, no." This is that boy's mother. Okay. This is that boy's mother. So yeah. So this is one of Ned Nwoko's former wives. This one has not seen her children in years because Ned said, "You want to go? Go. But if you go, your children, you're not going to see your children." This one is just waiting till they reach 18 years old and maybe, they can reconnect with her. That's just what she's waiting for now. The guy is evil. There is no other way to slice it. The guy is evil. Imagine collecting children from their mother and have how many children will Layla raise? Layla Sharani. This is why I say she's a glorified whatever. She's a hostage in that house. This is what Cutie Juice posted about this. Cutie Juice says, it happened to Chantel. Her name is Chantel, this one. And she was a zombie for a long time and lost out on her children completely. Even the time she came out to cry for help about her children not being properly looked after, everyone ignored her because everyone questioned her mental health. Once a past sees you have made a move to leave, it's over. Gina's clock started ticking the first time she rebelled against him. If you want to leave a past as a wife, you need so much wisdom. You leave completely before he notices. I'm afraid, but even if Gina succeeds in leaving, the chances that she'll have custody of her sons are very slim. Unless a miracle. A pie is so calculated, we can't dispute that. Maybe Gina should just be like Chantel. When the kids grow up, they'll know their mother tried. Hold on, my phone. So that's basically what, yeah. So this is the lady, Chantel. She has not seen her children in years. She has not seen her children in years. Anytime she wants to see her children, sometimes it's only when they sometimes post their pictures on social media. And the children are not even, they don't even look well kept. That was why Regina's mom was asking that day that um Regina's mom was asking, does Ned Nwoko's children look like children of billionaire? They don't, because nobody is caring for them. The man does not have money. He doesn't have money, just have assets that he bought when he had some money. That's all he has. Do you get? Hold on. Oh. Yeah. Let me see. So the common denominator, don't forget, the common denominator is Ned Nwoko. Here's the common denominator. Somehow all these women, after they leave you, they will become drug addicts, they will become cheaters, they'll become everything that you want them to be. Come on now. Come on. Come on now. So yeah. Um Let me see. I hope that she stays strong. And I don't know, I was reading a headline. I don't know how true this is. I have not seen the video. Maybe I need to go back and look for the video. But somebody was saying that one of the people that are advocating for Regina said that everybody is so afraid. Nigerian politics, they are so also afraid of Ned Nwoko. Da, 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 da. I said, no, I don't think they are afraid of Ned Nwoko per se. I think they all know that they are guilty of something and they don't want to look like hypocrites. That's why they are not getting involved in it. I don't think anybody is afraid of Ned, especially when it comes to politics. But these people, they don't want to be called hypocrites. They know that they themselves are not innocent. They know that they themselves have done things that are questionable at best. Okay. And so they know that they do not have the moral authority to come and be putting their mouth in Regina and Ned Nwoko's matter, that their hypocrisy will be so glaring. And that's the reason why they are not talking about it. It's not because they are afraid of him. They are not afraid, so because this is the narrative that some certain people are trying to push, that oh, they are so afraid of Ned Nwoko, they are so afraid, and that's the reason. No, nobody's afraid of him. It just boils down to them thinking about how they are going to be hypocrites, obviously, and that's all there is to it. you know yeah. Joy says, Jade, exactly, they are doing the same thing and that's why they don't want to get involved. Yeah, because they know that it's like you're pointing fingers at somebody when you know you're guilty of the same thing. So um they will not get involved. They'll turn a blind eye, you know because it's like a boys club over there, right? It's not out of fear that they are not talking. That's what I want people to understand. It's not out of fear. It's not because, oh, they are so petrified of Ned Nwoko, they think is this. No. They know themselves that they are not innocent. They know themselves that they too have done worse, or they are still doing worse things. So they want to keep their nose out of it. They want to keep their mouth, they don't want to get involved. And that's all it boils down to. It is very unfortunate, but these are what you should expect, you know? These are what you should expect if you dabble into, if you mess with people like this. These are vicious people. Politicians all over the world, not just Nigeria alone, all over the world, politicians are dangerous people. Politicians, if you don't know this, know it today. Politicians are dangerous people. They are vicious people. They can do and undo. They will destroy lives without thinking to, especially when they are ambitious enough. Like, before they get to the position that they are in, don't just look at a politician and say, oh, this looks like a nice guy. Now lie you. If they tell you what they have had to do behind the scenes, that the deplorable, the despicable things that they've had to do, if they ever share it with you, like, you'll be shocked. Politicians are vicious people. They are deadly people. So messing with a regular sugar daddy big man is bad enough. Add politician to it. Add being a politician. So yeah, they are deadly vicious people, and they will do anything. And it's a boys club over there, like I said. It's a boys club. They know what they do, they know what they dabble in, they know the kind of things that they engage in, you know. They know. They swap each other, they do all kinds of, they swap wives, they do all kinds of deplorable, despicable things. Anyway, my people, thank you so much for being here. I don't want this video to be too long, and it's already 9:07 in Toronto. Let me go and sort myself out and take a shower. But yeah, there's a video that I wanted to play, but I think we'll do it tomorrow. Thank you guys so much for being here. Thank you so much. Thanks, Mirabelle. Thanks, Joyce. Thanks, everyone. I will catch you guys tomorrow. Bye.